We make your future.
All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to the InGen Company Board podcast. Very special episode. This is for Jurassic June on the 30th anniversary of Jurassic Park. We're here with Jurassic Adventures, which is myself.
Nate 48.
Dino Productions.
Indo Productions.
And Docs in 93.
All right, guys. So the moment we've been waiting for. June marks the 30th anniversary, and we got a lot of stuff to cover, actually. We got a few new reveals, and we're just going to get these out of the way really fast. This first one we've talked about quite a few times on this podcast already. We have the Habitat Defender Triceratops, and this is that bigger Triceratops, if you guys remembered. This one is actually made out of some recycled plastic, and so it's kind of like the Ocean Defender Mosasaurus. But we just got an inbox photo of this figure, and I think it looks great. It says that there's real feel on it, actually, so... and it's like a similar material to that Mosasaurus. So I'm actually very excited for this figure, even more so now. But what are your guys' thoughts on this?
It's a solid figure. I mean, once we saw the promo images, I knew I was going to buy at least like 3 of these guys. But I like how they're kind of using the recycled plastic like the Ocean Protector Mosasaur. And real fill, just an added bonus. And now that we actually have an inbox shot, which will actually give us a clearer picture of what the product's actually going to look like when we find it on the shelves, I think it looks absolutely fantastic, even better than the promo images, which is not something I thought I'd say for a Mattel product. So,
it's pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. I think the paint looks pretty nice. It's just real clean and simple, nothing too crazy, and I think it's really a solid figure overall. I'm definitely excited for this one.
I mean, I will say, like, it's a big trike. I mean, that's pretty much the only thing that we've been hoping for that Mattel would do for quite a while. I mean, ever since they kind of fumbled the ball with the Hammond Collection. And I think the one thing that really caught my that you mentioned, Jay, was that it's real feel, which I even commented, like, in a post, like, are you sure this is real feel? Like, is this not like a typo or anything like that? So... I mean, it's an added bonus, not gonna lie. I mean, it only adds to, like, you know, just like the hype for this figure and when to release in stores. So I'm pretty excited to hopefully get my hands on this beauty.
So next we have the Legacy Velociraptor Containment Chaos Pack. As if you can already juggle enough names in your head of different playsets, we got another one. But this one is really cool, I must say. We got 2 park workers, we got their vests. We got I think walkie-talkies as well that you can remove. We got a flashlight, knee pads, and stun gun. Muldoon, his shotgun, the raptor cage, and then the raptor, of course. So a lot of stuff in this set. The price is a little bit steep at $40, but what are your guys' thoughts on this? I think this one's really nice.
I think it looks pretty good. I like the park workers. It's cool that they included the like the vests and walkie-talkies as separate pieces. I think that really adds to the like the customability of that.
it looks really good. I was not even expecting that they would do this. It's nice we're
Not
finally
gonna
getting
lie,
some park workers, too.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I did call it the night before. I said
You literally did call
there
that.
might be I'm like, there's probably gonna be a raptor cage, and there's a raptor cage. So
I remember I woke
happy
up
with
and like,
that.
oh, Jay is right.
yeah,
Jay has psychic abilities.
I do think the actual raptor is a bit of a throwaway, but
Oh yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
it's
I mean,
alright.
it's
That's
pretty
to be
much the
expected.
basic thing you pretty expected, like, for Legacy at this point, but only if you get it like at like a reduced price, let's say at I don't know, like $20 or something like that, $15. I mean, it is a steal. I mean, you can just throw away the raptor and like still get like a pretty good deal, you know, with what you got, you know, with the cage, you know, the humans, accessories. I mean, honestly, I think the humans and accessories, even the cage, is just like enough for anyone to buy this figure with no doubts or questions in their minds. So
Yeah.
it is pretty sweet.
So the Raptor set is really cool. I like everything on it. Raptor's alright, but this is like the 5th Raptor they've done, and it's not even accurate to JP.
I think it's like the 10th one, honestly. I kind of lost count.
Oh yeah, but yeah, everything's cool on it. Park workers solid. Muldoon's is a nice icing on the cake, and the cage. Oof, you're just, let's be honest, you just want the cage out of anything from it, and the park workers.
pretty much.
I definitely think the packaging looks nice. I do like the park workers and the cage, but some of the criticism I do have with this set is that I don't think Muldoon's necessarily,
Needed.
I don't think he's really necessary in this set.
Yeah, because we have the Hammond Collection one.
Yeah. I guess the shotgun is a nice addition if someone didn't get the legacy one, but
And that has a harder plastic compared to the rubbery one from the Hammond Collection. So that's a big bonus.
Yeah, I don't like how the cage is like collapsed and it has like those joints on the side, I guess you would say. It looks kind of weird. It has like sort of pins that make it so it can like fold or whatever, and I'm not exactly a huge fan of that, but it still looks pretty good. The Raptor kind of looks like a Kenner Raptor in my opinion, like the Screamer one or whatever it's called. And so I think that's kind of a neat detail. The glow-in-the-dark eye.
That's kind of cool.
That's kind of cool, I guess. It's pretty gimmicky, but it is what it is.
It's kind of gimmicky, like a Kenner gimmicky. Like, it's cool.
Some things I think that the set could have done better is just had the cage fully disassembled, and then there's like 4 or 5 pieces that all just kind of come together, so you don't have that weird little joint. That would actually save them money, so they don't have to put metal in there and whatever. And remove Muldoon, and then just make the Raptor really nice and accurate as well. Like really painted that thing up, and then that could have been better in my opinion. Because I like this sculpt a lot, but
the Extreme Damage Mold Raptor sculpt is probably the best Mattel Raptor sculpt they've made. It's really good.
But after that, we have the Tyrannosaurus Rex ambush pack, and this one I really don't like the packaging on. I don't like the T-Rex on, and
everything's
I don't know,
except one thing.
I think Malcolm and the Mercedes are really nice, though. I think it's also really expensive as well.
Way too expensive.
$50?
Like $54 is absolutely absurd for this thing.
I thought it was 50.
Yeah, they increased all the prices for everything, so now this is 54.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
And that's really high in my opinion. But thoughts on this set?
I like it, but the Rex is absolutely terrible. It's literally just basically you take the Ford Explorer set, you take the components of the set, you just turn the Ford Explorer into a Mercedes. Instead of Tim, it's Malcolm, and then you just throw a bull or a buck T-Rex in there, and the packaging is somehow worse because you could tell they clearly just reused some of the artwork from the Ford Explorer set. It's pretty bad. But the Mercedes is obviously nice, and I like how they included the back of it that can come off. So if you bought 2 sets, you can have both Mercedes, and that way we won't have to wait another 5 years for Mattel to make another Mercedes. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Still waiting on the other Explorer, but
Yeah, I mean, I like the custom ability once again with the removable back. I think they've really started to improve with their vehicles. So where that's improved, they've gone backwards with the T-Rex. Yeah, like I'm not a painter, but like I could do a better paint job than that.
Yeah, the paint's really lackluster. There's almost like no paint on this thing. The sculpt, I would argue, is actually even worse than the original.
The sculpt got worse too.
It's so bad.
Like, it's even less accurate in my opinion because the snout's just way too bulbous. It looks so cartoony and just not good. So
if they said they want to make it super accurate to the bulk.
Yeah, I don't know what reference pics they were looking at, but that is not the case.
Probably from DeviantArt.
They literally said like, we're gonna make this as close to the film one as possible, and like, I'm just gonna throw a comparison up on the screen of like the actual head sculpt of the buck animatronic and then this new one. It's like night and day difference.
It's laughable. It's really not a good sculpt.
I swear to God, a 5-year-old can make a better head sculpt than that.
It's anyways, yeah, they really just did not pay much attention to that head sculpt at all. But then finally we have a really neat one, I think, and that is one that we've also talked about quite a bit on here, and that is going to be the Hammond Collection Brachiosaurus. And I think this thing it's definitely an interesting choice. Another large sauropod, which is kind of crazy considering we're going to get another one revealed right afterwards with the Mamenchisaurus. So That's a lot of space, but I think this one overall looks really cool. I think the sculpting detail with some of the in-hand shots looks really nice. A lot of musculature and skin folds and stuff like that, which make it seem like an improvement over the Legacy Collection version. It has nicer paint as well, and the rubber neck and glass eyes and just all these little details I think make it cool. For $85, I'll have to see a little bit more in hand with that Beyond the Gates, which is going to be coming in June. But I think it looks pretty neat actually.
It looks really good.
Yeah, I agree.
Hopefully the glass eye is better than the T-Rex.
Oh god, I hope so.
It's going to be darker, I would say, so I think that's going to really lend itself to making it seem a bit better. It's not exactly the most necessary, but I think it still might be cool.
I don't think the Brachiosaurus even has like any eye details like this. I don't think it's just all black.
Dark brown on the animatronic with black pupil, so it's not.
Oh,
It's gonna be very difficult to see.
Yeah, if they did do that color variation, then it's gonna be pretty hard to see regardless.
Might look good
Yeah,
up close, but far away you're not gonna notice. So
I'm not gonna
Kinda weird.
worry about the rubber on the neck because Hammond Collection, they finally fixed the rubber, so it probably won't tear like for a very long time.
let's hope so.
Yeah, I hope that's the case. I think it will be the case though, because you're not gonna make a rubber-necked figure where it has like that deterioration. I wouldn't think. But we got a little bit more paint detail. It looks to be pretty similar colors. The main things I would say that are like gripes about this figure are definitely like the proportions and stuff like that, and maybe a little bit of sculpting accuracy. It's hard to make the articulated, sort of mouth and also keep that sort of underhang, as well as having the head actually articulated on the neck. So I get why some of the sculpting is the way it is. But the head isn't the most accurate. I still think it'll be a pretty cool figure. But the main thing is also going to be like people deciding if this is actually worth it as in addition to their Legacy Collection one. The Brachiosaurus isn't exactly the most like eBay sellable thing. You can't like ship it once it's put together.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where people are going to start seeing issues, and that's where this might decrease in sales maybe.
As long as you have a hacksaw.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
then
just
you
cut
can
it
put
up
back
and-
together.
Glue
Well-
it back together.
Maybe Mattel. So I've noticed on more recent Hammond Collection figures that they've changed how the tail goes inside of the figure now. I noticed this when I got the Packy, and I can easily just walk up to any of my Hammond Packies and pull the tail right out. Same goes for my Ankylosaurus. I think my Metricanthosaurus can do it. I'm actually gonna test that theory right now. Yeah, I just pulled the tail out of my Metri, and I
I
guess
can't take my tails off.
I can take them off mine. I don't know why, but
Because I'm weak.
it pops out pretty easily.
I don't know.
But it
I
stays
think
in
they're
there.
just. I think that's not exactly meant to be, but if that's the case, that's welcome, I'd say.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I
it
hope they
helps
would
with
do something on
storage.
the Brachiosaurus, especially because of how gigantic this thing is. I mean, even the Legacy Brachie, like, once you put that thing together, there's no taking it apart. I mean, unless you, like, I've had it take a shelf dive and the neck pops out, but, like, other than that, it's difficult to ship these things. I would not want to be an eBay seller with an extra Hammond Brachie wondering, how the hell am I going to ship this in a box?
Yeah, but I don't know. So that's definitely a decision that's gonna have to be made. Oh, also the T-Rex, it's not a buck anymore. I mean, it never really was, but it's definitely not a buck anymore. It's just a redo of the original Hammond Collection T-Rex, the Rexy. Apparently it has a slightly improved eye. I'll be the judge of that. We'll have to see. And just like a slightly tweaked paint job, barely anything. So yeah, that's that. But nothing too exciting with that figure. That's overall just how it is.
It's a major
Kind of disappointing.
disappointment.
It is what it is. Next, we're gonna go over from our topics. When did we all get into Jurassic Park, and how did it inspire our fascination with the franchise?
Wow.
Daxton, you can start us off if you want.
All right. It's a bit foggy for from when I started Jurassic, but I think the earliest memory I had with Jurassic was going to Universal Studios Hollywood on the Studio Train tour, and my first up close encounter with the dinosaur was with the Dilophosaurus on the tour, where you passed by the Jurassic Park section. I shit my pants. I will admit, but I did went back. I remember my father picking up Jurassic Park on DVD. We both watched it, and from there, everything took flight, and I became an addict for the franchise. And I started collecting the 2K9 line, and kind of grown from towards the Jurassic World line from Hasbro, which was kind of a mistake on my parts. And then off to Mattel, and then off to the Kenner stuff, and here I am now. Just doing my own content, and just loving the series, and just like some of the stuff they have put out. And while I do have some criticism about the things so far, I still love the franchise as a whole. And if it wasn't for that day at Universal Studios Hollywood, I don't know where would I be at. Just as a Jurassic fan and as a person, just going forward. So yeah, that's when I first got started, and how it really inspired my fascination with the franchise. So
Yeah. Whoever wants to go next.
I'll go next.
Okay.
Okay, so this is gonna be a long time ago, but so back in 2000, I was a little boy, and I didn't know what Jurassic Park was when I was a little boy. Had no idea what it was. I just knew about the cool dinosaur toys. But then when I heard about the movie, I'm like, ooh, Jurassic Park, and I watched the first one. Big mistake, because I was like 4 years old, so I was scared shitless for the raptors. And then Jurassic Park 3 comes along, and that was my first ever Jurassic Park movie I ever watched as a kid, because that's what I grew up with. And I collected all the Jurassic Park 3 toys, had the animatronic Spinosaur, Ultra Rex, everything. And also at that time, there was something wrong with me when I was a little kid. I had a bad stomach, there was like something wrong with my stomach, so I was in the hospital for like a whole week, and all I had to watch was Jurassic Park. So that's what I watched.
Cool.
And I would bring my Jurassic Park toys. I would always bring my Jurassic Park 3 toys to school, because at that time Jurassic Park 3 was like a huge hit. So everybody bought their Spinosaurs, people bought their Ultra Rexes, etc., etc. And here we are today.
Hey, Indo, you can go ahead and share yours.
Okay. So mine started, I was about probably 3 or 4. I have a very specific memory. My dad was watching The Lost World on TV, and I think I just kind of started to watch it, specifically the scene where Eddie gets ripped in half. That was the first ever scene that I had watched. And I think it was either that night or the next day, he took me out to I think Best Buy, and we got like the 3-pack of all 3 movies, and we watched them.
Nice.
And that was my kind of first experience with it. And then after that, I would start, like, when I got a little bit older, I would start getting on like eBay and looking at like the old Kenner figures, and I started to just buy some of them. None of them were like complete or anything like that, but that's kind of how I got into collecting.
Cool. For me personally, when I was about 3 or 4, I had like a bunch of dinosaur toys. I like dinosaurs for sure, and I had some Jurassic Park toys. And my brother started watching like the movie on the TV, and I watched like the whole thing, and I like loved the movie. So yeah, I'm just obsessed with it since then. And I've always liked it, and then I kind of took like a break when it was really slow, and then I kind of got back into it a little bit more with Jurassic World, and then definitely with Fallen Kingdom when all those Mattel toys got announced and everything, kind of like brought me back into collecting that sort of stuff, I'd say. But yeah, always been a fan.
I had kind of the same introduction to Jurassic Park. I mean, I think I was 4 or 5 or something like that, and I was into dinosaurs. My first introduction to Jurassic Park, I think I probably watched it on TV, but I remember, since it was the 20th anniversary of the film, I went to go see Jurassic Park in theaters with my mom, and I got to see it in 3D, which was really, really cool. And then after that, it was just, I started getting some of the toys. Like Dawson said, I got the 2K9 stuff because that's all we had back then. I kind of fell out of it after Jurassic World came out. I stopped buying the toys, obviously, because they were all garbage. Back then, I kind of knew, I'm like, yeah, these aren't really worth it. And I really fell out of it. And then Fallen Kingdom came around and I really got back into it. And then I, learned about all the old Kenner stuff and realized I actually had some of it because when I was little, I had like the 2K9 stuff, but my parents would also go and scour eBay and whatever, and they would buy just like huge lots of JP stuff. So I did have like some of the JP3 toys. I had a couple of the original Kenner figures, but I'd say 2018 was like where it really kind of took off. As like, yeah, I don't think Jurassic's gonna go anywhere. For me, at least, I'm always gonna be obsessed with this franchise, whether I like it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually had like quite a few Kenner figures as a kid. I don't know, my parents and I don't know exactly where the origins of them were from, but I mean, I had like a busted Jungle Explorer. I had the Series 2 Young Rex. I had the Lost World Pteranodon and also the Series 1 Triceratops from Jurassic Park. And those ones I'm very fond of. Like, I remember playing with all those, so that was cool for sure. But yeah.
I think
Kenner
my
toys-
first figure. Oh, sorry. I think my first figures was had the Alan Grant, and I still have him. His joints are all loose and floppy, and I think I had like the Bush Devil Tracker, and it was like missing everything.
Yeah, yeah. I
Man,
had both those as well.
So my first ever Kenner toys was actually the Buck Rex, the Thrasher, the regular Lost World Raptor, and the RV set. I had it all as a kid. And I still had my Bull Rex. But I don't know what happened to my Thrasher. I still got my Raptor, but I'm now down to 3 mobile command centers. So, yeah.
I think my first Jurassic Park toy that I got as a kid, or at least that I recognized was Jurassic Park toy, was the 2K9 Growlers T-Rex, which is still like one of my favorites in my collection. I even have a photo of me playing with it, which I think is really cool. I have it framed and I have it next to my 2K9 T-Rex on my shelf. My actual first Kenner figure might be the original 93 Raptor or the JP Dinosaur Screaming Raptor. I got those around the same time. I probably pulled it out of like a Savers or something because that was something I did a lot as a kid. And then it all just kind of floated from there.
So
Yeah.
my first Jurassic Park figure, I mean, 2K9 wise, my first 2K9 figure was the 2-pack with the JP3 repainted Rex that was in black and green, and the repainted Raptor in red and white. My first Kenner figure, I mean, eBay wise, I got my first eBay Kenner figure was a Velociraptor from Series 1, from the original Kenner Jurassic Park line. And the first ever Kenner figure I actually found in the wild was at a Savers, just like Nate had mentioned, just going to Savers around that time and just like finding out of the blue, just like a JP Dinosaurs 1999 Pachycephalosaurus. So that was my first introduction to like a actual Kenner figure, just finding that in that clear plastic bag, just mixed up with all these other toys, just finding it out in the wild. And yeah, those were actually my first Jurassic Park toys. So.
Awesome. It's really cool to hear everyone's different sort of introductions to the franchise, I'd say. It all like, there's a big variety of different experiences that kind of led us all to where we're here today. And I think that's definitely an interesting thing. And like a lot of people are bonded over this. And I think it's really cool, especially like this whole community. So what else do we want to talk about?
Maybe our favorite moments from the trilogy, probably from the new trilogy or the old trilogy. I don't know, something that kind of like
Yeah. Definitely I'd say the T-Rex breakout and like the ending scene in the visitor center where it's fighting the raptors. I think those are very memorable moments for me, at least. It's super iconic, and yeah, I can like remember watching those for the first time as a kid. Those are insanely iconic for me, at least.
Yeah. I think my favorite scene is definitely the T-Rex breakout as well, because I remember when I was a kid and I was seeing the movie for like the first time, I was terrified of the T-Rex, but I think me being so scared of it, actually, I got more interested in the franchise because I was so terrified of the T-Rex. And I think that's why T-Rex is like one of my favorite dinosaurs, because it's like when you see it on the big screen for the first time and it's kind of obscured by all the foliage and stuff, it's such a good scene. I think it's easily my favorite out of the entire first film and maybe even the entire original trilogy.
Yeah, I think my favorite scene out of the whole trilogy is actually from the Lost World. The RV scene where they push it over the cliff. That's always been my favorite.
That's a good
scene.
scene. That's a good scene.
But also,
Solid scene.
yeah,
So
from
it's
the
just,
from the first movie though, I always like the when the raptors are chasing them through the visitor center and they go through the through the roof and into the tundra of the visitor center. I always like that part too.
Yeah, that's a good scene.
so the first one easily is the kitchen, the raptors in the kitchen. Such a good scene. That scene scared me as a kid. Just the way those raptors look at you at the camera is terrifying. And for the second one, oof, me and Endo had the same favorite scene as the RV scene. And for JP3, easily the birdcage, easily top.
Yeah,
That's
JP3
a
had
very
some
good
good
scene.
scenes, despite being
Yeah.
kind of mediocre.
So,
From the Lost World, sorry to Dawson.
no,
You
no,
can go
no.
ahead.
You can go ahead. I can just go last.
Okay. I think from the Lost World, definitely the game trail scene is most memorable for me. I thought that was so cool. I thought those vehicles were super awesome, and the herd of dinosaurs, just the coolest thing. So
Okay, so it's obviously a no-brainer that I really think my entrance into Jurassic Park was probably the best scene, in the Jurassic Park franchise. But okay, I'm just kidding. But realistically, though, just personally, it's gonna sound a bit left field, but I think my favorite scene, in the entire trilogy was in the first film where Ian Malcolm was talking about the dangers of Hammond opening this park, because
Yeah.
he's explaining just how this man thinks he can just play, God, just thinking that he can clone these animals and just like just the dialogue in that scene where, Ian Malcolm's just making some points right out the bat. You don't even understand or even comprehend of what these creatures are capable of. And everyone's siding with Ian Malcolm, just how, Hammond's demonstrating he's playing God. And we see that demonstrate out in the film where him kind of having this idea of maintain control in his own theme park just crumbles. And in my opinion, it really all goes back to Ian Malcolm pointing out his Chaos Theory and just how no one has the power to control life that they have zero clue about, and how it always breaks free and all that stuff. So honestly, the diner scene, with Ian Malcolm just laying out the facts is just probably my favorite scene out of the entire franchise.
Nice.
yeah, that's definitely a pivotal scene. Especially once you sort of understand. I don't know, as a kid, I was like, oh, cool dinosaurs. Once you sort of understand the premise and the plot of the movie, that scene, and then also the scene where they're in the gift shop eating ice cream or whatever. Those are both very, very good scenes.
I think another good scene from the original film is the Welcome to Jurassic Park scene with the Brachiosaurus. I love that scene. I think it
Yeah.
might be my second favorite, honestly. It's just such a nostalgic, iconic scene, and I don't know, it's just something about that whole scene still,
Yeah,
brings a
I
little
feel like a lot
nostalgia
of
tear
it.
to my eye.
I feel like a lot of it actually is music too.
Yeah.
Oh,
A lot of the
score
soundtrack is
so
just
good.
it's so memorable. The helicopter flying in, the rotunda scene where you have the theme going is
Yeah.
it's just super
That
memorable.
music
So
gets hard.
I love how
Yeah.
Journey to the Island, it's just one continuous soundtrack. It
Bum,
doesn't stop from the helicopter to them coming up to the visitor center.
oh, I love that theme. The theme when they're coming up to the visitor center. It's
Yeah.
super
Oh,
cool.
God,
That's
yeah.
a great theme.
Oh, I know exactly which
John
one.
Williams
I
was
wish-
a
I
master of
wish-
his craft.
I wish they had more of that. Anyways, but yeah, what else do we want to talk about?
I got one more scene actually.
Okay.
I've always thought it was really pretty when Grant and the kids are in the tree and the
Oh, that
Brachiosaurus
scene.
come out.
Yeah,
I
the
love that
sunset
scene,
or
too.
sunrise or whatever that
Yeah.
is. That's a great scene. Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
really good scene. And the
Mhm.
soundtrack also goes absolutely nuts.
Yeah, it's
A
crazy.
Tree for My Bed is easily one of the best Jurassic Park songs on the soundtrack.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
What do you
masterful
call
score.
what do you call a blind dinosaur?
Such a good
Do you
scene.
think he saw us? Yeah,
You think it's a
it's
what do you call a
awesome.
blind dinosaur's dog?
Do you think he saw our Shreks?
It's such a corny joke, but I love
Do you
it.
want to do the movie tier list next?
Ooh, yes, sirree, Bob.
This is where things gonna get a little
It's
spicy.
just gonna go crazy.
Oh yeah, this is
Okay,
S tier,
this is
the
how.
JP.
little moment we all
JP
been
S
waiting
tier.
for, ladies and gentlemen.
JPS tier.
Absolutely.
Nah,
Yes.
I think Jurassic World
No,
Dominion
it's a
gets
no-brainer.
extra.
It's a no-brainer. Yeah.
Yep.
Jurassic Park is the highest upon highest on any of these films. No film's gonna get close to it. Maybe except for the Lost World.
Actually, I think Jurassic World Dominion gets an S tier because how cool with the bike jar.
Realistically, I would not
I'm
even
kidding.
contest if someone just went like Jurassic Park's S tier, and then every other film is just a step down. Like
That's right. It's so
you just do S tier, Lost World's A tier, JP3 is like B or C, right?
Yeah.
And then Fallen Kingdom and Dominion are just ugh.
Oh yeah.
Jurassic
No,
Jurassic World can be like a B or C tier.
Yeah.
Malcolm would say, like, oh shit.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, that
not
sums
real
up Fallen Kingdom
fond
and
of
Dominion.
those.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I think we all agree on that. Maybe not Indo, I don't know, but
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm not a
oh.
huge fan.
You know, if I had to rank all the films, I'd probably obviously Jurassic Park is at the top, but then I'd have Lost World. Surprisingly, I'd have Jurassic World after. I actually quite like Jurassic World, but maybe there's a little bit of nostalgia
Actually,
blinding
don't
me
mind Jurassic
there.
World.
you know,
Jurassic World is
I
probably
need
the
to
most
watch Jurassic
realistic.
World again.
It's got
It's
some
a good
watch
corny
Jurassic
movie. I
one-liners,
really
but it's
think.
not as bad as Fallen Kingdom and Dominion. But
Oh god,
yeah,
I
so
can't
Jurassic
even watch
Park,
Dominion.
Lost
I
World,
am even fucking.
Jurassic World. Then I'd have JP3 after it, and then I'd actually have Dominion and then Fallen Kingdom. I think Fallen Kingdom is just easily the worst film in the franchise. Dominion's not that much higher, but they did bring back the original trio, so that kind of puts it above Fallen Kingdom because Fallen Kingdom just had, like, pardon my French, but the shittiest writing I have ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I think like Dominion and Fallen Kingdom are just equally bad.
they are equally bad, but Dominion has the original trio, so they get a little bit of, you know.
I mean,
Plot-wise,
Dominion
it
had
is.
you
horrible
kinda had
writing
it.
too. Like, both those films just need like a whole rewrite. But
Yeah.
Ugh.
the Jurassic
Especially
World films
Dominion.
anyway. It's more focused on, you know, where it all started 30 years ago.
Alright, so my movie tier for the Jurassic films, it's got to be Jurassic Park, of course, Lost World second, Jurassic World third, JP3 after Jurassic World, and I really hate to say this, but I would actually prefer Fallen Kingdom over Dominion. I'm sorry.
Damn. They're very similar.
I mean,
lists.
here's the
I could see
I mean,
either way, honestly.
because
I mean,
honestly, here's one thing I loved about Fallen Kingdom. I know a lot of people don't like it, but the one thing I really liked about Fallen Kingdom was the tone of the film. I love that horror type of tone from the movie. Like that Fallen Kingdom had like a scary tone to it. Like J.A. Bayona is really good at making like horror adaptation in movies. Like I can't even think of any one, but I really liked the dark tone that Fallen Kingdom gave. Like in Fallen Kingdom, we saw Wheatley's arm get like severed. I mean, we didn't see a lot of blood, but like you just like if you watch the scene with Wheatley getting killed by the Indoraptor, his arm is still his hand is still moving, but when it's like chopped off, it just goes limp. I love that little detail of how of that. It's such good. It's really good. I really like that.
Yeah, it seems
I definitely
right.
think that they're like lacking with the blood. Like Jurassic World, you don't always remember it, but like that film was actually pretty bloody. You have like
Yeah,
blood
Jurassic
coming
World is
down
bloody.
when the Indominus chomps down on the guy. You have the blood coming through the trees. You got the guy getting slammed by the Indominus's tail into a tree.
Oh, let's not forget the guy getting ripped to shreds by the Indominus too when they're running in the cage.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot
And
about
then
that.
there's Shit,
I
what's
never-
his name? God,
Zara's
I'm sorry, I'm blanking
death.
right now. Hoskins.
Oh,
Yeah.
Big Hoskins
Zara.
when he's just getting mauled by Delta.
Hoskins
Yeah.
gets his arm like ripped off.
Yeah.
Oh god, I love that scene. It's so bloody. I love it.
The mercenary guy like slapping his bloody handprint onto the glass of the thing
Oh,
and then getting
yeah.
devoured.
Apparently, that's one of the InGen hunters from the Lost World, and people are saying that he could have survived that, but then he got killed in Jurassic World.
Yeah, I don't know, but
You think about it,
Not
like,
true, but it is the same actor from the long grass scene. Like
Oh,
all those
really?
hunters are running in the long grass. Yeah, that's him.
that's the
So,
same guy.
people,
Oh,
I mean, it works
people
in
think that he
universe. It
could've survived.
works then, because
Yeah,
if he escaped, then I mean, he's probably still gonna work as a contractor in InGen. So
that's
He's
true.
killed,
I guess that's kinda cool.
Like 20 years later, and by the same thing that killed his friends.
yeah,
That's a little
Also,
ironic.
this one thing I like about Jurassic World than any other Jurassic World film is that how the raptors they were dogs in Jurassic World. They acted like how
Yeah,
an
no, they
animal
were like
should.
they were half
And then when
trained.
they turned, oh bro, that scene when they all turned on them was so cool. I love when raptors acted like scary
Raptors?
son of bitches. Like they acted like raptors, not a puppy dog.
I know, right?
Yeah,
Jurassic
I kind of
World
want to watch
actually
that
didn't-
film again now.
Yeah,
No, I wanna
honestly,
watch it
Sam, I
again.
have to rewatch Jurassic World. It is. I think it's a pretty good film. I mean, I remember when it came out, and after 14 years of virtually nothing for Jurassic films, Jurassic World was a nice kind of breath. Well, I mean, it was breath of nostalgia and fresh air, but it was nice to see like
But
hey, this is what would
You
happen
wanna
if the
know
park was
you wanna
open
know
and they
something funny?
introduced hybrid dinosaurs. Fallen Kingdom and Dominion just kind of took everything that Jurassic World like built upon and
And
just
threw it out the
shot it
window.
out of the sky. Like,
you know what's really funny about Jurassic World? When I went to go saw it on opening day, I actually brought my red Rex toy.
you brought your
And
Red
I was
Rex.
I was 18 years old at the time when I did it too. So I'm like, you know what? I'm proud that I did it. And so many
Just
people,
rocking
you know
with
what's
it.
funny? Those 5 other people brought their Kenner toys too. Like
That's
some guy
awesome.
had their Bull Rex, someone had a Thrasher, someone had the Bad Boy Dominic. So they can't count that as Kenner. But it was really funny.
Dude, that theater was packed when I went opening day.
Oh my god,
Oh,
dude!
I
Nina
saw it
was
opening
packed.
day too. That was a great
I
night.
will remember the scene where you know how when Rexy and Blue, I don't know about the name, but they had the Adonis cornered by where that water is, and when the Mosasaurus came out, everybody said "Wow!" Like they all shouted like "Yeah!"
However, shot in theater. That's
Mine
funny.
actually did the
when
same
Rexy
thing.
did that roar, when Rexy did the roar at the end, people were like going, and they were all cheering, like clapping their hands. And one guy's like, "Fuck yeah, Rex!"
Getting
That is
hype.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's why I like
that
Jurassic World. Seeing it in
And I won't
theater
lie,
opening day. Oof.
Oh, I will never
Nostalgia.
forget about that, bro. So I wish I could relive that again.
I've actually seen all of them opening day.
I
Yeah,
haven't
me
seen.
too.
I didn't
Yeah.
see. I
Me
didn't see
too.
Fallen Kingdom because at that time when Fallen Kingdom was out, my grandmother passed away during that week, so I couldn't go see
yeah.
it. Yeah,
Well, you didn't
It-
miss
it
too
was
much,
just
so
Yeah, it's okay.
yeah, true.
Yeah.
I did eventually see it via,
It's not the biggest. It's not the end of the world if you don't see it opening day, especially that
No.
film.
Oh, there's one more thing I liked about Fallen Kingdom. This is actually, you know what's funny? I do like one more thing about Fallen Kingdom is the opening to the movie. Love the
Yeah,
opening.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, no, I
That's
agree with you.
fine,
That was a
better.
good
That
scene.
that whole scene, that whole opening scene felt more Jurassic Park than the rest of the Jurassic World movies. I swear to God.
No, yeah, you're right.
yeah, it's pretty good.
The
I like
thunderstorm.
I like the soundtrack too. It's good on
Dude,
that
I
part.
love
Has
Yeah.
a pretty good soundtrack, actually.
I know people are
Jurassic
saying.
World had a good one too.
People
I
are
think
saying
Dominion
like,
is probably the weakest out of the three, honestly.
Yeah,
Dominion
Dominion lagged
is
a little
super
bit.
weak.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about Dominion. Like what happened in it. I don't know it was about the bugs, and that's it.
Yeah, you're not missing much, really. Like
No.
Fallen Kingdom, Dominion. Like you could just, if you just didn't watch Fallen Kingdom and Dominion, it's just like, yeah, that's just stop at Jurassic World. Like the first 4 films are probably the best in the franchise. Just the last 2 just really sucked.
Yeah.
Which sucks as like a fan because now it's like, you have
There's-
a franchise that 1/3 of the films absolutely suck, and I have to explain to people, oh yeah, these ones suck, but these ones are good. It's like, oh, it's hard to explain to people who aren't.
Some people like him. Me personally, not a big fan of the latest two.
Yeah.
If
I
you
hope
like
they
it,
do
more
a
power
different
to you.
route.
I do hope they do a different route for the next movie.
I want
when
a
it's gonna come
live
out.
action TV series. I think that's
Bro,
what
we need a live action
that would
TV
work.
series.
We need something
Because-
darker.
We
Yeah.
need freaking Hulu or Netflix or someone
Preferably
to
Netflix.
distribute. Oh yeah, I just hope somebody who has the rights
Prime Video.
that Universal uses for the streaming services to make a live action Jurassic Park show.
Blockbuster.
That'd be nice.
It's got to be someone.
If anything,
I
it
don't
would-
even know.
if
The
anything,
only
it
thing I
would
can
probably
think of is Netflix. I do not trust HBO Max, bro.
No.
it would probably
Because there's been a lot of controversy with that. That streaming
It'd
service.
probably
Did you guys know they
be
changed the freaking
Netflix.
thing?
It's not like
Yeah,
Max.
Netflix, because of Camp Cretaceous
Yeah,
artists
that-
on there.
Ooh.
right.
I'd rather Netflix
Oh.
just so I can actually have a reason to keep my Netflix subscription.
I
do
would-
that tonight.
I'm not gonna go into my whole rant, but like the franchise has really been catering to sort of the younger audience,
Mhm.
especially with like the movies and some of the merchandising and stuff like that. It's a lot less mature, even though like so many people are fans of it that are like more adult and mature and want to see more of the intricate stories and like science fiction-y sort of stuff that Jurassic Park brought. So
What was that? What was that quote? There was a quote that by Steven Spielberg saying that like it was like something about how like,
the kids are just along for the ride. It's
yes,
not-
that's what it is. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about for Jurassic Park, like for the Jurassic
like-
movies.
Spielberg is the goat.
yeah,
No doubt about it.
it's now it kind of feels like the adults are just along for the ride a little bit.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
It sucks.
And
though.
also, like, he also mentioned that like he did not want like Jurassic Park to be like a monster movie, and going on with Jurassic World, like the trilogy, like everything's all about like hybrids and like the biggest
Hybrids.
baddest dinosaurs, just like the monsters, like
Chris Pratt.
whereas the natural like you know, or like the scenes where where dinosaurs
Down
are
to
just
Earth.
being dinosaurs, you know,
Right.
just
Mhm.
like
I think
I
Fallen
think
Kingdom
that's the
took
other
it
thing
too
that was
far.
missing.
Yeah, it really took too far with the Indoraptor. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
the Indoraptor was just basically Jurassic's first movie monster.
Yeah.
It's kind of out of
It
place.
legit acted like they got inspiration by the freaking Nosferatu.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
problem.
So that's probably not the best way to go about it. But yeah, I think a series or something would really benefit that, especially since that's the format that so many pieces of media are getting published as now.
Right.
And we
Especially
need
in
somebody
like
that loves Jurassic, knows what the property is, and makes a damn good show. Because
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sorry,
true.
I cannot trust Colin anymore, bro.
Colin's not coming back. I think they've already
Good.
stated like if they do make more films.
no, he said
or
he doesn't want to
shows-
come back. It's probably going to be Bryce Dallas Howard, but I don't know.
I mean, she
We'll
did
see.
direct a couple of Mandalorians, and they were
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So maybe.
I mean, if
see
she
what happens.
listens to what the fans want, she can deliver. I see no reason why she can't direct it.
But yeah, I mean, I think this is about it. What do you guys think? We could
This is
save
our-
some stuff for these upcoming months. It doesn't look like there's going to be too much news, especially
Yeah.
with Mattel. We're kind of wrapping all that up. So
Yeah.
yeah,
This is our special
Yeah.
JP30 episode coming. Hopefully, if I did this right, coming out on June 11th.
that's been it.
All right.
Yeah.
See you
Well,
guys.
Goodbye, everybody. Have
Bye, guys.
fun. And remember,
Thanks for tuning in.
Sure.